good. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dawn and this is Dawn Does Keto. This channel is all about my personal journey and my accountability on the ketogenic lifestyle. I'm so glad you're here with me today and we have a lot to unpack, but before we get into the main part of the video, I want to talk about what was in that delicious coffee you saw. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so good. This is pumpkin spice coffee with 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 egg, 1 scoop of collagen, 1 package of pumpkin caramel keto chow, and then it's just topped off with hot water. Because I make a full shaker bottle full. I want to get as much as possible. To me, volume is key. So I make a full shaker bottle full, and then that ends up making like 2.5 cups of coffee, basically. Then I feel like I'm getting more bang for my buck. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys because that is delicious. So there's a couple things I'd like to talk about before we get into my struggles and successes for the week and before we touch on my weigh-in for the week. First off, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. We have less than 2 weeks now. I've been planning, so hopefully you guys have been planning what you're going to do for Thanksgiving. My plan as of right now is to stay keto for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to count anything. I may overindulge in some keto things, but I will stay keto. I will not be eating any off keto foods. I won't be eating stuffing. I won't be eating potatoes. I won't be eating rolls, and I won't be eating the regular sugary desserts. So what I have offered to take over to my mother and father-in-law's house are deviled eggs, because I can make those and I can make them keto. I am going to make a cheesy bacon rice cauliflower dish so that I have a side to go with my turkey. There will probably be green beans and corn. Obviously, I would not eat corn. I might have a few green beans, but green beans aren't even like one of my favorite vegetables. So if I don't absolutely love them, I'm not going to eat them just because it's something that I can have. I still haven't decided yet if I'm going to do the keto bake rolls. I haven't made them. I have 2 packages of them and I haven't made them, so I don't even know how they taste. Mike will be eating regular rolls at Thanksgiving, so if I make them, they would only be for me, and I just don't know if I need them. So that's still kind of up in the air. And then as I have mentioned in a previous video, I did order a pumpkin cheesecake from Pangea Keto, and so I will have that as a dessert so that I can have dessert when everyone else is having dessert. Is that a necessity? No, but I will just feel better not sitting there watching everybody else having dessert and not having any. So that's my plan. Now, you might not do keto desserts. You may completely go off keto for Thanksgiving, and that's totally fine. You are the only person who can decide what level of keto you are at, and you have to do what type of keto is best for you. Nobody can tell you what you should be doing or not doing. My plan over the next month is to be very intentional to not go into the new year needing to lose more weight than I already do. I don't want to put on 10 pounds over the holidays so that when January rolls around and I start BBB and E, I have 10 additional pounds to lose. So I really need to be intentional over these holidays to stay on my plan and stay on track and to not gain weight and have additional weight to lose when January comes around. What is your plan for the holiday? Are you planning on going off keto? Are you planning on being very strict keto? Are you going to do something in between, which is kind of what I'm doing? Let me know in the comments down below what your Thanksgiving plans are. Something else I wanted to talk about this week was 2 Crazy Ketos did a fundraiser on Veterans Day, which was Friday, 11 on 11. They raised over $16,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project. In that live video that they did, they played a video that my husband had submitted in honor of his dad. You all know that I and my husband helped care for my father-in-law. He submitted that video and I was over there on Friday and had it up for him to watch when it came on. And it was very emotional for him. He was very, very thankful, and I thank everyone for all of your kind words and messages that you sent. I read those to him. But in case you did not watch the 2KK live, I am going to insert the video right here so you guys can see it. It's very short. It's only a couple minutes long. We just wanted it to be short and sweet, but to honor Mike's dad for his service. So we'll put that right here.
This is my dad, Sergeant Michael A. Johnston. When I think of tough, I think of my dad. When I need an example of patriotism, I think of my dad. When people talk about being an American, I proudly think of my dad. You see, he was always wearing something, a hat, a shirt, jacket, displaying the American flag, the Marine Corps, or being a veteran. But if you look up the definition of survivor, you will see my dad. My dad came from a very rough and difficult childhood. He survived. As a young adult, he proudly served his country in the Marines, fought in Vietnam. Probably shouldn't have come home, but he did. He survived. When he did return home, he came home to a country that didn't want him back. They shunned him, shamed him, but he still loved his country. He still defended her. He was a survivor. On November 3rd, 2022, he celebrated 55 years of marriage to his childhood sweetheart. They had ups and downs like all of us, but their marriage survived. On October 17th, 2021, my dad was involved in a near-fatal motorcycle accident. He was unconscious for nearly 3 months. He awoke in early 2022, and 1 year later, after that terrible day, Michael A. Johnston, my dad, is alive. He is a survivor.
So they honored people, they told people stories. They also did some live interviews with some people, and one of their guests was Ask Nurse Cindy. And I've had the great opportunity to see Cindy live at Keto Palooza. There were a few things as I was watching that live that really just resonated with me. One of the things she talked about was how the body's main job is survival. That's what your body is, it's always trying to do. It's always trying to survive. And she said, especially women over 50. And for a second I was like, oh, that's not me. And then I was like, oh, crud, that's me. I am a woman over 50. I forget sometimes that I am, but my body knows that I'm a 50-year-old woman. And so it is reacting like a 50-year-old woman. I told you guys last week, and we discussed how this is probably TMI, and if it is, I apologize, but I am in premenopause, basically. I went back and looked, and it has been 12 weeks since I had a cycle, so 3 months. I just felt really off last week. I felt like, something wasn't right, and sure enough, Aunt Flo came to visit this week. So my hormones have just been all over the place. I know that probably had a lot to do with my weight being up last week. I'm probably retaining fluid, but again, women over 50 and people in general, your body's main objective is to survive. So when our hormones kick in, our body goes, oh my gosh, there must be a famine coming. It's always preparing for not getting its next meal. So that's why we have to make sure that we're eating enough. Your body will drop its metabolism. It will make you want to rest more than normal because it's like preparing itself, so you will feel tired. It's like preparing itself for what's to come. That's one reason why we feel the way we feel, especially around that time of the month. I really did struggle with that this week. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of jump into my struggles and successes for the week. And it all kind of ties back into what Nurse Cindy said. She had a really great analogy. One of the struggles I had this week was because I was up almost 2 pounds last week, I went into a mental place of old dieting habits. And what I mean by that is anytime in the past that I've been up on the scale, I've had to dial back how much I eat. I go into calorie restriction mode. Eat less, move more. That was the old mentality. So if I was up on the scale, that meant I ate too much, which I know I didn't. But in my mind, you think if I'm up, it's because I ate too much. So this week, I really struggled with wanting to cut back on the amount of food that I was eating. And I know that that would just send my metabolism into what I was talking about, where it thinks that there's a famine coming. And all that does is slow your metabolism down. You're just doing more harm to your body. And I know all of this logically, but I still wanted to go there. I got to do what I got to do to get this weight off, even though it probably wasn't weight, it was just water. So that was a huge struggle for me this week. And something that Nurse Cindy said that touched on this and really made me think about this, you know, she really talked about how you have to eat enough to sustain yourself. You cannot function without the adequate amount of calories, period. And the analogy that she used was, what if somebody asked you to build a house and they only gave you 8 bricks to do it? It's not enough to build a house. And we cannot build up our bodies, we cannot sustain our bodies without enough nutrition. You know, somebody gives you those 8 bricks and they leave and they come back and they're like, hey, why isn't this house built? Well, I don't have enough materials to build it. And that's the same thing with our bodies. We have to give it enough nutrition. And that's the bottom line. And so I really struggled this week with that, but I think I did a good job. So with that, we'll talk about successes. I ate really great this week. Mike and I cooked at home a lot this week. You guys saw in my last video that I bought a lot of meals. So we had roast this week made with keto chow gravy. We had a meat layer lasagna this week. I did a meatloaf and I ate until I was full. I tried very hard to not be like, well, I can only have a small piece because my weight was up last week and I got to get that weight off. Again, it was always back there in the back of my mind, but I believe that overall it was a success because I just did not do that. I did not cut back on my calories or my food intake. I was so excited. Saturday I said to Mike, hey, I'm gonna get to go on my channel and tell everybody, guess what guys? I did not go out to eat one time this week. And since I've started my channel at the end of April, that has never happened. Mike and I eat out a lot and there has never been a week where I have not gone out to eat at least once or twice. So I was super excited because I was going to get to come on here and tell you guys that, and then it didn't happen. Sunday morning I woke up and I had a message from a girlfriend and they wanted to meet out for lunch, so I went out and met them for lunch. So I did go out to eat once, and that was yesterday. We met at Red Robin. I ate completely on plan. I had a burger with bacon, cheese, and a fried egg on top and lettuce. I did not have any dressing, and of course I did not have the bun. And then I had a side of broccoli with cheese and sour cream. It was delicious. I had a great time with my friends. We sat and chatted for almost 4 hours. I had not seen them in a while, so when they sent me that message, there was no way I was turning it down. It ended up being a great lunch, so kind of a struggle. Did go out to eat once, but proud of the decisions that I made, so a success also. Something else that Nurse Cindy said, and I've always known this, but I liked how she worded it, was when planning your keto diet, the 3 S's. You have simple, which you guys all know it has to be simple for me. If it's a recipe or something that's going to be super hard to make, I'm not doing it. It has to be satisfying, because if you're not satisfied, you're going to continuously look for something else, and it has to be sustainable. I believe that the way that I'm doing keto right now meets all 3 of those requirements. Again, this is Dawn Keto. That includes some off-plan meals on occasion. I don't do them all the time, but I just know if I told myself, Dawn, you're never going to have pizza again. Dawn, you're never going to have French fries again. That's the worst thing that I can tell myself. Knowing that I can have those every now and then is what makes it sustainable for me. So I just really liked that, and I will remember that being the 3 S's in the back of my mind. I just really enjoyed that interview with Nurse Cindy. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I highly suggest you go back, and even if you just go to that part, there were a lot of great interviews, but I just, you know, you have certain ones sometimes when you watch something that really speaks to you, and for some reason, I think because I'm struggling with this whole female thing, it just really resonated with me. So I think that's it, guys. With all that being said, I got up this morning and I weighed in at 174.8. So I lost 1 pound of the 1.8 that I gained last week. So I'm still not back down to where I was, but it did go back down a little bit this week. I am definitely dealing with those female issues this week. So we'll see after that kind of levels off what my body does. I know that I had a goal of trying to be in the 160s, even if it was 169.9 by Thanksgiving. Unless my body has a whoosh after all this craziness is over, I don't know if that's even possible at this point, but I'm just going to continue to eat the right way and my body will do what my body does. And I'm going to just try not to let it get to me too much. Thank you all for your encouraging words last week, things to help lift me up, because we all know that when we see those numbers on the scale, it can just be depressing. Even though we tell ourselves the scale is the devil and it doesn't really matter. Logically we know that, but sometimes it can still be something difficult to deal with. And your kind words last week were amazing. I love all the comments you guys leave. I make sure that I respond to each and every one of them. I love the interaction and the community. It's what keeps me going. It's the reason that I started this channel. So please, if you have anything to say, if you want to talk about your Thanksgiving plans, if you just want to talk about your week in general, if you have any questions for me, it would be great if you would just drop a comment down below. You can always reach out to me through email too. If it's something that you don't want to put in a comment, maybe something private, or if you just need somebody to be accountable to, you can always send me an email at dawndoesketo@gmail.com and I will answer that. I just personally want to thank each and every one of you, every subscriber, every person who does leave a comment and interacts with my channel. It's such a huge help to me personally. It does help the channel too, but it just helps me. It's the reason that I started this channel. I needed the accountability. I need the people. I need the community. It's the only thing that keeps me on track. It really does help. So I really just wanted to reiterate how important you all are to me and to my channel. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that bell notification button. That way, every time I upload a new video, you will be alerted to it. And I hope you all go have a great week. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being here. Bye.